Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning, reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 17, text number 15. Anagas Vahi Bhuteshu.
Did you read it 14?
Huh?
Yes, sir. Oh.
14 was yesterday?
Oh.
Right?
15, yes.
Yeah. Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Ya Agas Vinara Kushaha.
Ya Agas Kusha.
Ahardhasmi Bhujam Sakshad.
Ahardasmi Bhujam Sakshad.
Amartyas Yapi Sangadam.
Amartasyasi Sangadam.
Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Ya Agas Vinara Kushaha.
Ya Agas Vinara Kusha.
Ahartasmi Bhujam Sakshad.
Ahartasmi Bhujam Sakshad.
Amartyas Yapi Sangadam.
Amartasyasi Sangadam.
Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Ya Agas Naram Kushaha.
Ya Agas Vinara Kusha.
Ahartasmi Bhujam Sakshat.
Ahartasmi Bhujam Sakshad.
Amartyas Yapi Sangadam.
Amartasyasi Sangadam. Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Ya Agas Vinara Kusha.
Ya Agas Kushaha.
Ahartasmi Bhujam Sakshad.
Ahartasmi Bhujam Sakshat.
Amartyasyapi Sangadam.
Amartyas Yapi Sangadam.
Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Anagas Viha Bhuteshu.
Yagas Vinara Kusha. Ahartasmi Bhujam Sakshad.
Amartyas Yapi Sangadam. Anagasuiha.
Anagasuiha.
To the offenseless.
To the offenseless.
Bhuteshu.
Bhuteshu.
Living beings.
Living beings.
Ya.
Ya.
The person.
The person.
Agakrit.
Agakrit.
Commits offense.
Commits offense.
Nirankusha.
Nirankusha.
Upstart.
Upstart.
Aharta Asmi.
Ahartasmi.
I shall bring forth.
I shall bring forth.
Bhujam.
Bhujam.
Arms. Sakshad.
Sakshad.
Directly.
Directly.
Amartyasya api.
Amartasyapi.
Even one who is a demigod.
Even one who is a demigod.
Sangagadam.
Sangadam.
With decorations and armor.
With decorations.
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Sure.
An upstart living being who commits offenses by torturing those who are offenseless shall be directly uprooted by me, even though he be a denizen of heaven with armor and decorations. Purport. The denizens of the heavenly kingdom are called Amara or deathless due to their possessing a long span of life, far greater than that of the human beings. For a human being who has only a maximum 100-year duration of life, a span of life spreading over millions of years is certainly considered to be deathless. For example, from the Bhagavad Gita, we learn that on the Brahmaloka planet, the duration of one day is calculated to be 4,300,000 times 1,000 solar years. So 311,400,000, 400, I think. 300, that's a long life. 311 trillion years. Similarly, In other heavenly planets, one day is calculated to be 6 months of this planet. And the inhabitants get a life of 10 million of their years. Therefore, in all higher planets, since the span of life is far greater than that of the human being, the denizens are called deathless by imagination, although actually no one within the material world or the material universe is deathless. Mars Pariksit challenges even such denizens of heaven if they torture the offenseless. This means that the state executive head must be as strong as Mars Pariksit, so that he may be determined to punish the strongest offenders. It should be the principle of a state executive head that the offender of the codes of God is always punished. Om Gyanatamandasya Gyanandana Slakaya Chakshram Vitamjena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Mukam Kurtavachala Pangum Nang Hayate Gurim Yat Kripata Laham Pande Shri Gurum Diratalam Vanchikampati Vishta Kripasindav Devacha Patitanam Pavaneva Vaishnavevyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivakti Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Can anybody think of anybody in our scriptures who was offenseless but was punished very severely? Ambarish Maharaj. Well, he tried to punish him, he tried to hurt him, but he didn't suffer at all. Chitraketu? What did happen to what?
He was cursed by Mother Parvati to become a demon, Vritrasur, because he apparently smiled.
Well, but he was a devotee. As a demon, he was a devotee. He was okay. He was good, actually. But Nanda Maharaj and Devaki, they went to jail for years. Imagine, they have God as their son, and then they go to jail for years. Yeah. And Mother Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj, they got the joy of raising Krishna. But all that time, they're in Vrindavan having a good time. They're in jail. I mean, geez, that's like, and they were offenseless. Amazing. I mean, it's an amazing pastime of Krishna and his father and mother. Of course, later they got the mercy. They were with Krishna for how many years in Dwarka? For like 100 years or something like that. So they got the mercy, but it began with some unnecessary, punishment. So every day we chant the 10 offenses. Prabhupada said it's because of these 10 offenses that we don't love Krishna. Offenses. So we gotta somehow become free of these offenses. And which there's two that stand out more amongst the others. What do you think they might be?
To commit sinful activity on strength chanting.
Well, we're not committing sin, right? I hope nobody here is committing any sin. Or maybe they're subtly, but inattentive. Yeah, that's a big one. It's hard to be attentive. Yeah. In chanting, just like we're chanting, and so many things come up, like. And we pray, Krishna, please, take all this away so I can meditate, right? But it just keeps on coming back, But there's also there's inattentive hearing. It's like in Bhagavatam class. Sometimes we're hearing, but we're not hearing. Apparently we're hearing, but we're not. So also in our service, there's inattentive service. It's like we might be on book distribution, and our mind goes off, and we're not attentive, we're not focused, and that causes a disturbance, isn't it? If we're not focused, if we're really focused on book distribution, you feel the reciprocation. But if we start spacing out, it's like I remember in Miami, or no, in Los Angeles, we were in an airport, and sometimes there'd be TV screens, just people to pass their time, watch TV, and the Sankirtan devotees said, "Oh, that's kind of interesting." So we become inattentive in our service. So to be inattentive in our service, to be inattentive in our chanting, uh, to be inattentive in our hearing. It's like sometimes you're reading, you read a whole page, and nothing's sunk, isn't it? It's amazing. Just the mind, because the mind just doesn't. This is boring. Come on, let's think of something more exciting. The mind is such a rascal. Then you go back, just like Bhakti Tirtha Swami, you all know that he would chant, and if he was inattentive, he'd back up. So similarly, when I read and I find that I didn't, a few paragraphs didn't sink in, then I go back, read it again until it, sinks in. And hopefully, these teachings will sink in, get to our dull skull, and we'll actually appreciate. So attentiveness is very important. So I can imagine Vishal is speaking to Kotu Karnava Prabhu, and as he's speaking to Kotu's like, like, what would you think? Like, hey man, aren't you? What kind of a conversation is this? So it's very important that we're attentive in everything we're doing. So what's another offense, major offense?
Complete faith in the Holy Name.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's another big one. To have complete faith. If we had complete faith in the Holy Name, we would be very attentive, right? Because it's Krishna. The name is Krishna. Sometimes the devotees say that the Krishna is within the name. The devotee was giving Bhagavatam class or Bhagavad Gita class in Vrindavan. Prabhupada's sitting there. Imagine that, you're giving class and Prabhupada's sitting there listening. And the devotee says that Krishna is within the name. Or what do you say? The name is within Krishna. No, yeah, he said that Krishna is in the name. And Prabhupada said, where in the name is Krishna? Prabhupada said, no, the name is Krishna. The name isn't in Krishna. The Krishna is not in the name. The name is Krishna. Yeah. So to have that faith. I was given a class in Germany and I was speaking about this, how the name of Krishna and Krishna is non-different. And one guest said, I find that to be inconceivable. The name of God, the name of Krishna and Krishna are non-different. I just find that inconceivable. I said, well, you have to be a little patient to understand that the name of Krishna and Krishna is non-different. And this person said, this word patient is not even in my dictionary. Isn't it? In the West, we're very impatient. We want everything now. I've been chanting Hare Krishna for 2 years and I'm not a pure devotee yet. Or they have the PDS, the pure devotee syndrome. Someone joins the movement and he's chanting for about a week, and he says, yeah, I should be a pure devotee in 6 months. Pure devotee syndrome. So, yeah, to have faith see, we had faith in so many other things before we joined. We had faith in that by satisfying my senses, I'll be happy, right? There are people all over the world. They're thinking that if I satisfy my tongue and my ears and my genitals, I'll be happy. But no. Krishna removed that faith in this nonsense, and now we're trying to get faith in Krishna. Still, there's a little bit of faith in the sense gratification, idea, but we're trying to become completely free of that and just have complete faith in Krishna. Yasya deve parabhakti yatha deve tata tasya teka tatarya prakashante. One who has great faith in Krishna and the spiritual master, then all the imports of the Vedas are revealed. It's all revealed if we just have faith in Krishna and the spiritual master. So another offense that we regularly commit is we maintain material desires even after understanding so many instructions in this matter. So this is another offense, maintaining material desires even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. There's one instance where one great sage went to a kingdom. And whenever the great saints go to a kingdom, it gets all respect, There's so much respect. And it goes right into the king's palace, and he gives instruction to the king. So this one king was speaking to this saintly devotee. And he said, I understand that Maya's illusion, it doesn't bring happiness, but still I'm so attached, I just can't. Can you give me some guidance? Yeah. So the sage, he got up from the asana and he went up and he embraced one of the pillars and he started shouting, "Let me go! Let me go! Let me go!" And the king was like, "Oh, I wonder what this message is." He's embracing the pillar and shouting, "Let me go, let me go." So then he went and sat down. He said, "This is the situation that we're so attached, but we want freedom. We're hanging on, but we want freedom. Right? We want to be free of it. We're hanging on." So we said we have to let go. We have to let go. The thing is that we're conditioned to being attached to the things of this world. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to become unconditioned, get free of this, and become conditioned to thinking of Krishna. Always thinking of Krishna. Smartavya salatang Vishnu, Vishmartavi najatuchit. These are the two instructions that are so important. All other instructions in the Vedas are servants of these two. Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. Yeah. So this helps us get out of this conditioning. What is the conditioning? The conditioning is we think we're this body. We think we're this body. Evam Bude Parang Budva Samstabhyatmanam Jahi Satrang Mahabhav Kamarupam Drasa. Knowing oneself to be transcendental in the material senses, mind, and intelligence. One should carefully, Krishna says, carefully engage in Krishna consciousness. Be very careful. It's like whatever we're doing, we should do it carefully. If we're not careful, then we slip. We have to be very careful. And then he goes on to say, We should slay this formidable enemy known as lust. Formidable enemy known as lust. This is the enemy of the soul. And Krishna says that the enemy has taken a strategic position. Anybody know?
Mind, senses, and intelligence.
The enemy has permeated us. We're surrounded by the enemy. Not only surrounded, the enemy is within. The enemy is within. Mind, very close within. The mind, the intelligence, and the senses. So what to do? What we have to do is that which can conquer the enemy has to also go within. Right? And that is the holy name of Krishna. The words of Krishna. Yeah. This Maya is so subtle. Yeah. So subtle. Sometimes I don't even know we become overwhelmed. So Krishna is also subtle. He's known as the most subtle. This is one of the glories of Krishna. He is the most subtle. So Krishna has to go within. We have to keep Krishna within. And eventually, we'll be free. But it takes, as it's stated in the Bhagavatam, we have to hear for a long time. And eventually, it's like that example is given of the boulder. If you have a drop of water, going on the boulder, big boulder, every few seconds, that soft drop of water eventually goes all the way through that strong, powerful, heavy boulder. So we got this ego, this heavy ego, boulder-like ego. So the soft chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, will break through this great illusion, ego, Maya, and will reach Krishna. So here in the purport, Prabhupada says, Maharaj Parikshit, he challenges even such denizens of heaven if they torture the offenseless. So we also have a big challenge. The big challenge is attaining bhakti. That's the big challenge. Rejecting Maya and surrendering to Krishna. This is the big challenge. In that Krishna, he says, Sarvadhamam pratyaja mamikang saranang vaja ahang tang sarvapapeja mokshishaya mahasacha. Prabhupada gives one translation of this. He says, don't try to be happy and remove distress. It won't be a success. Just surrender to me, Krishna says. Don't try to be happy in this world and become free of distress. It's not going to happen. He says, just surrender to me. And what is surrender? Anukoyasya sankalpa, pratikoyasya varjanam, rakshishya titi vishvashu. Yeah. This is the surrender. Accepting everything favorable for devotional service. So everything that we do is favorable. Everything that we do should be favorable for devotional service. Just like we go to Mangalartik, that's the best way to start our day. Therefore, it's called Mango. What is Mango? Auspicious. Auspicious Artik. It's a great way to start the day. Going there and getting the merciful glance of the Lord. praying for purification. It's a great way to start the day. Then we take Krishna Prasadam, and we have our japa, we have arti, we read. All these things are meant to help us surrender to Krishna. Then we reject so many things we have to reject. It's like this is Maya's kingdom. There's a lot of Maya here in this world. Prabhupada was in Mexico, and he was giving class, packed temple room, packed. And one lady rose her hand after the class and said, "Why is there so much Maya here in the temple?" And Prabhupada said, "You show me where there is no Maya, and I'll go there." This is the material world. Even in the temples, they're trying to get free of Maya, but Maya is still there. Like, we're all tinged, some more, some less of Maya. So Prabhupada, he was so Krishna conscious, he was able to bring people out of Maya. Westerners, us people, just getting out of, just coming out of drugs and alcohol and all kinds of nonsense. So this is the power of a pure devotee, that he's able to change the hearts of the conditioned souls. Did that very well. So this illusory energy, it's difficult to overcome, but it's not impossible. We just have to do this. We have to stick to the surrender process. Anukuyasha sankalpa. Accepting things favorable, rejecting things unfavorable, accepting Krishna as our maintainer. He's the maintainer. He's the Anukuyasha. He's the protector. Who's the best example of someone who took full protection from Krishna? Huh? Prahlad Maharaj. Amazing. Yeah. His rascal father tried to kill him in so many ways. Couldn't kill him. And he was getting so frustrated. He was the most powerful. He even had Narada Muni. Even demigods were serving him. Everybody surrendered, but he couldn't. He couldn't get his son, 5-year-old son, to surrender to him. Where do you get your power from? Same place as you, Dad. So yeah, Krishna will always protect us if we're taking shelter of Krishna. And thinking oneself meek and humble, that's another aspect of surrender. And how big are we? We're not big, we're small. Like I wrote a note to Vaisheshika Prabhu recently. He gave me a nice class. I wrote a letter to him, said, "Tell him, you're such good class, such a nice class, and you're such a good president, and you're such a good guru. Everything's good, and you're humble at the same time." So I said, this means you receive the mercy of Krishna. If you're very good at something, but you're still humble, that's the mercy of Krishna. So he appreciated that. Yeah. So to be humble is not easy. But if we understand, if we're always hearing about the greatness of Krishna, then it's possible, right? That's why hearing is so important. We keep on hearing about how great Krishna is, then that also reminds how small we are. Just like recently a couple of days ago, we had the summer solstice. You know what the summer solstice is?
The longest day.
No, summer solstice means that's there's a moment on that day. I think it was it Monday? No, what's the day? No, Saturday. No, Friday. Friday is the day that the sun starts going south again. See, it's always going north or south. So it's amazing. For millions of years, it's going north, and at 1 second, it starts going south again. So now it's going south. As I'm speaking, it's going south. It's going east to the west, but it's also going south. Yeah. And the atheists say there's no God. Yeah. I mean, geez, such control. The moon also, now it's waning, right? It's almost to the dark moon. Every day it's getting less and less and less. And then eventually it's going to be no moon. And then it's going to wax. It'll get bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, we have one full moon a month, right? I think we have one full moon a month. For millions of years. But there's no God. So foolish. I was peeling an orange yesterday. I was thinking, wow, that's amazing. You put the seed in the ground, in the dirt, put some water. The tree comes out, packaged oranges. They're packaged. Very nicely packaged. Nice, orange, nice color. Just peel it. Nicely packaged. And so many fruits, nicely packaged. What are some other fruits that are nicely packaged? Huh? Pomegranate? Yeah, amazing. Yeah. Banana, yeah. And they're even shaped nicely, just nicely packaged. It's amazing. But no God. So nicely packaged, and they're sweet. Now in the dirt, is there any sugar in the dirt? There's no sugar in the dirt. Nobody eats dirt except for Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya, he ate dirt. Was it? Oh no, he was eating the pot, the clay pot. And the mother said, "What are you doing? You can't." Well, what's the difference? There's the clay pot, and it's all coming. It's all one. But Krishna, he was claiming that he had eaten dirt, and the kids came and complained. Krishna's eating dirt, Mata. And Mother Yashoda came. Krishna, you're eating dirt? No, I'm not eating dirt. It's a conspiracy. They're trying to get me in trouble. No, but even Balaram, even Balaram, they're trying to get me in trouble. All right, open your mouth. Let me see. And she looks in his mouth. And what does she see? The whole universe. There's a lot of dirt in there. So it's true. A lot of dirt in there. So yeah, the more we surrender to Krishna, the more we'll appreciate. Got to keep hearing more and more and more and more. And the more we hear, then the more Maya will step aside. She wants that, actually. She wants us to be Krishna conscious. She's a devotee. And one might ask, well, she's a devotee. Why is she putting so many tests? Why? Making it so difficult. Why doesn't she make it easy? She's a devotee. Make it easy. So why? Because it's like in school, the tests, they get harder and harder. They don't get easier. They always get harder, right? Jess, yeah? They always get harder and harder. Our PhD student. That's the highest. The highest test is the PhD. But actually, even higher than that is the final exam. What do we remember at the time of death? That's the big test. So we're trying to attain this bhakti. This is the goal. They say that money is the honey, right? This is the same. Money is the honey. Money is not the honey. Bhakti is the honey. Right? Bhakti is the honey. It's not easy to get that. We have to utilize whatever intelligence we have. All of our intelligence should be utilized to attain this bhakti. And this is RI. There's AI, this is RI. This is real intelligence. This is real intelligence. Artificial intelligence is exactly what it is, artificial. It's not real intelligence. Real intelligence is when we're utilizing our intelligence and serving Krishna, thinking of Krishna. Yeah. Prabhupada gives a definition of intelligence. You know what the definition is? Seeing things in the proper perspective. That's the definition of intelligence. Not IQ, that's not intelligence. But seeing things in the proper perspective, which means seeing things as Krishna sees things. There's matter, there's spirit, and there's the controller of both. When we see that, when we understand that there's matter, there's spirit, we know what matter is, we know what spirit is, and we know who the controller of both is. That's intelligence. That's RI. That's real intelligence. And we utilize those things that we can utilize in the service of Krishna. And we reject those things which can't be utilized in the service of Krishna. This is RI. We're trying to plug in with the RI, avoid the AI. AI is going to be a problem. It already is. It's like Prabhupada complained that these computers are becoming so popular, but one computer means 100 people don't work. And there's so many people that are homeless now. But AI means even the people that are working the computers, AI is going to be taking that too. It's like one of you was telling me that so many IT people are working on AI, but eventually AI is going to take their job. So they're working so hard, but they're going to take their job, right? Because this is high tech. So yeah, AI is going to be a major problem in the future if it isn't already, in a small way, already, right? Yeah. Okay, so a couple minutes. Any question, comment, or?
I had one small comment.
Yeah.
You play acted Kaudakana Prabhu in my conversation.
Yeah.
And then you said if if he was inattentive, I would say, what sort of conversation are you having? So the same goes for chanting. We're praying to Krishna for his service. But if you do it half-heartedly, Krishna will ask, what sort of conversation are you having?
Yeah.
Are you really asking for service or not?
Yeah.
You seem to be doing something, giving service, but the heart isn't. So the play acting was very nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're chanting, but we're thinking of so many things. It's kind of subtly like that. I mentioned about you two having a conversation. So we're chanting, but we're, Krishna's like, hey, wait a second, we're supposed to be having some exchange here, but you're over there. You got to come back. You got to focus. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Much capture. Thank you. Vaishnavevyo Namo Namaha.